Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with your free pick in the Stanford versus Washington State college basketball matchup on Thursday, January 18th, 2024. Of course, if you like all our free picks, you'll love our premium picks, our best bets. Use the discount code PICK. You'll get 15% off. We also have the Dime Club and Sharp Trading Plays meant for people who make big bets. If that's you, go ahead and text the number you see on the screen. Not available on the website. You got to text that number. But let's get to this one. Stanford taking on Washington State. Stanford 9-7 on the season. Washington State 12-5. And we've seen both these teams rise to the occasion in spots. We've also seen these teams fall flat on their face. It's the final year of the Pac-12. Stanford headed to the ACC. It looks like Washington State is headed to the Mountain West. Stanford 6-4 straight up in their last 10 and 5-5 against the number. Washington State 6-4 straight up and 4-6 against the number. Both these teams definitely moving in the right direction, even though they're moving out of the conference. But overall, the general tone of these teams is they are improved. These are teams that we've seen be good in the past. They're not quite to the level of some of those past teams that we've seen. This Washington State team isn't as good as the Klay Thompson teams, and they don't have a player as good as Klay Thompson, right? I mean, he's a generational player, at the college level. And then the same thing, Stanford, we've seen them have some tremendous players too. But what we've seen from Stanford is they've really been able to step it up in spots. That game last time out against Utah, the final score was just a 6-point differential. The game wasn't really as close as that final score said. Really, that outlier game is the loss against USC, which is a bit of a head scratcher, losing 93-79 at USC. I mean, they beat Arizona, they beat UCLA, they've beaten Utah, they lost to Arizona State, and they lost out of conference against San Diego State. And I've got news for you. San Diego State beats a lot of teams. I do a ton of videos, and I can't tell you how many times a day I say, well, they lost to San Diego State, and how many times over the years I've said that, because the Aztecs, oh man, they're just a very, very tough out. That's why they finally made it to the finals of the NCAA tournament a year ago. It was one of those things. Wasn't really surprised. When we look at Washington State coming off that win against Arizona, if you watch our videos daily, you know that I gave out Washington State in that one and said they had a very good chance to win that game outright. Meanwhile, they had also won at USC, lost at home against Oregon, beat Oregon State. So, it's been a choppier performance for Washington State. I think what attracts me to Washington State is that they do a lot of things really well. They don't do everything really well, but they play defense really well from the floor. They don't guard the perimeter as well, and Stanford can hit their shots from the outside, and that kind of might be the difference maker in this game. The Washington offense, they shoot the three not particularly well. Stanford is also not good at guarding the perimeter, and their defense certainly isn't nearly as good as Washington State's. But when we look at, the effort things that Stanford does, including that defensive rebounding, I just think that in this one, I'm going to go with Stanford at home, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, be sure to use our free betting tools at sportschatplace.com. They're 100% free, and they'll help put you on the most favorable bets on the board today.